Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the first chapter of Hiromu Arakawa's new manga, Yomi no Tsugai, and or Tsugai of the Underworld. It's a little bit unclear what if the translated title is going to become standard or if we're going to stick with the Japanese title. Either way, Arakawa has a new manga out, and I definitely did not forget about it for 10 days. That's not a thing I did. I was definitely right on top of this as soon as it came out, and it's not 10 days late. Either way, I know next to nothing about this series, so I don't have a whole lot to add. Let's just dive right on in. We have our scan later page here, which has kind of the key visual of the manga, the sort of short-haired, light-haired boy, and this long black-haired guy in like a thick coat and an eye patch. I don't know anything about what's going on here, but let's just dive right on in. We open, the rising of the sun heralds the start of destiny. We have this color page. It looks like maybe a sunrise. We hear crying. Wah! 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 And then we hear an announcement. There's another baby. They're twins. The day is dawning. Don't give birth yet. Granny, don't give birth yet. Okay, and then this attendant is like, that's impossible, because I guess she's already given birth. But the midwife declares, do it even if it's impossible. The children will become rulers of the Tsugai. Alright, don't know anything what's going on here. We do get a little bit of like the exterior of this building. It's a very kind of, there's like lots of right angles. I'm not quite sure what real-world architectural, like, cultural architecture that most resembles. But anyway, we then have our, two-page color spread for the first chapter. It's the same visual we had earlier. Full Metal Alchemist, Arakawa Hiromu returns. Tremble. Awaken. Brand your soul at dawn. Yomi no Tsugai, Chapter 1, Asa and Yuru. Here's just a random little note. It's very interesting to me that Arakawa is still just Full Metal Alchemist Arakawa. Like, of course she is, because, FMA is one of the greatest manga ever written. But, like, she's done so much since then, and it's only FMA that's, like, attached to her. She is FMA's Arakawa. It's fair, given, FMA. And it's leagues ahead of Silver Spoon, which I did love a good deal, and Arslan, which I'll one day read. But yeah, Yomi no Tsugai, here we go. We open, we cut back to, the sun is a little higher over the mountains, and we see a man, he's in this room. The interior looks distinctly kind of feudal Japanese to me, but I'm also not very intelligent when it comes to architectural things. His, head is in his hand. Oh, they were born divided by day and night. Okay, so we see the twins. A little bit of reading the synopsis on MAL, which is very not particularly helpful. I think these are the twins Asa and Yuru, and these might be Asa and Yuru on the cover. Maybe it would fit the sort of divided by day and night motif. One has blonde hair and one has black hair, which we do kind of see in that panel there. But anyway, we then cut to sometime later, this sky trail. And we see this guy on horseback. It's the same guy from the cover, the blonde one, who looks up at it. It's pretty, like a dragon's fart. Alright, I have no idea what we're getting into now, Arakawa. But the guy walks up these sort of steps made into the terrain. The weather's getting worse. I should go home and tend the field soon. And I'm assuming this is Yuru, because someone calls out, Yuru, come here! And then Yuru responds, oh, Donji, I'm back. And Donji, we see, is this shorter boy with a black ponytail, like an attendant or something? I don't know. Have you gone hunting alone again? Why didn't you tell me? And Yuru just tells him, oops. And Donji gets onto him. What if something happens in the mountains? You can't call for help. It's fine. Sayu-sama will watch over me. I'm guessing Sayu is maybe the deity we see on those dog statues? I don't know. And Donji notes on his horse, whoa, you caught a pheasant? Ain't that difficult? Nope. And he calls to, I guess, the farmers, I think. Fried bird, hot pot. And we see the farmers like collecting grain or something, and they note him. Oh, Yuru, welcome back. I'm back. The weather's turning bad. The farmer tells him perhaps it'll finally rain. And Yuru, that's going to be a hard name to say. I'm predicting it now. A whole series of trying to stumble out Yuru, I don't know. Anyway, he tells him, I'll come help later. Sure, thanks. And Yuru goes through the town, showing off the pheasant to all the various passerby. And I think maybe he sells the pheasant to this guy in the bottom panel of page 7. Anyway, Yuru comes up, Granny Yamaha, I'm back. And we see the two women helping the birth in the first page. The older woman, Yamaha, looks at him, welcome back, Yuru. And then the attendant, who I pegged an attendant, who does look a good deal older than she did in that first page, would make sense. If Yuru was one of the twins and has been like 15 years or so. Danji, too. You come at a good time. And Danji, so Danji must be the son of the black-haired woman, because he reacts, no, it's Mom! And his mom tells him, come help. Bye! And Danji just books it. His mom snaps, hey! Try to be hardworking like Yuru. And they sort of move on from that. Yuru comes over to Yamaha. How is Asa? And Yamaha tells him, oh, she carried out her duties today as well. And Yuru goes into this hallway. Asa, how are you? And we see Asa's like locked behind a prison door. I am going to take a moment to read the little summary on my anime list here. It's a short little paragraph. Yuru, a boy who lives in a remote mountain village, spending his time hunting birds and being one with nature. But one day, Yuru's younger twin sister Asa is called to serve in the jail at the heart of the village, her duty also confining her there. Yuru slowly unravels the unnatural mystery hidden beneath his quiet village. So I had sort of, when I read that, I assumed that would be something that happened midway through the chapter or something, a kind of inciting incident is Asa being taken. But it looks like Asa's already just sort of there, just kind of hanging out, kneeling. She got the long black hair. She might be the black-haired person we saw on the cover. But that black-haired person, I will say, looked kind of edgy. And what we see of Asa is definitively not that. Because she's just very politely, welcome back, brother. And Yuru looks at her for a second and then just gives this big old grin. This good old, Edward Elric in the epilogue grin. That's a good old Arakawa face. And Yuru just kind of tells her about his day. I caught a pheasant today. You're amazing, brother. Not at all. I wanted to catch a boar or a bear. There's been too little rain. I'm worried about the harvest. There might be less food this winter. I have to hunt more and make dried and salted meat. And Asa asks him, will the people of the village leave to work in the lower lands? Maybe. And Asa gets sort of sad. And you? Will you go? And Yuru tells her, no. Why do you think I trained myself to hunt? I hunt for food and am indispensable to the village. I won't have to leave for the lower lands. And then Asa says, you won't leave me like mother and father did? Don't worry, Asa. I will never leave this village. That's spoken like a shonen manga protagonist 20 pages before he has to leave the village. That's my hot take. By page 32, he'll be kicked out for some reason or something. Something about unraveling that mystery in the promo. Anyway, Yuru goes on, as long as you are here, I will always be by your side. I will protect you. And Asa just grins, yes! And Yuru goes back to that sort of smiley face. And Danji's mom comes in, and Yuru turns to her, yes? And Danji's mom points out, Dara-san is here. And then I'm guessing this is Dara talking with like some sort of supplies she's bought or something. From the workers in the lower lands. Thanks for always taking care of me. Some sort of marketplace set up amongst the people of the village. They're all sort of looking at it. It's good bronze. How are the lower lands? There's this whole, group around this one merchant. The merchant tells them, the merchant might be Dara, actually. The economy's been pretty bad. There's a pandemic. I wonder what it's like to live in a world where the economy's been pretty bad and there's a pandemic. I sure can't relate to that one. And the merchant tells them, who again might be Dara, which is why I will offer a good price for herbs. Another guy chimes in, I'd like some salt. Seeds for drought-tolerant vegetables? The woman comes over, holding her, hand on her daughter's head. My daughter will soon be 7. The merchant tells her, I see. Then I'll bring a priest next time. So we're seeing a little bit of culture, I guess, this sort of something happens when people turn 7. I don't know. I've been having bad headaches. Sure, the usual painkillers. And you hand someone this powder on a cloth. This works best. Stomach medicine, please. Sure. It's just a whole kind of market thing. And Yuru comes in. Dara-san. Oh, Yuru, how are you? So yeah, Dara is the merchant. Anything you want? But Yuru tells him, not really. And Dara tosses him some little ball, and then just says, I don't want anything. Any souvenirs for Asa, right? So they have this rapport going, we see. That Dara already knows the kind of thing Yuru is going to ask for, just stuff for his sister. Okay. And Yuru looks at him, thanks. And then I guess he shows off some of the hunting spoils. What? Pheasant feathers? Great, I can sell it for a good price. But we see Granny Yamaha watching in. I don't know. So we can clearly see there's some kind of, I think, bad luck that the twins have sort of gotten by one being born at day and one being born at night. And I guess Asa would have been born, if she was the one born at night, she was the one born first because we saw it was sunrise, but she's been stuck in some jail cell, maybe it's tied up with being the night. And they were already announced to be rulers of the Tsugai, whatever the Tsugai is. I don't know. Lots of interesting, lots of things to wonder about, even 16 pages in. Arakawa is, of course, a master of her craft. So Dara leaves, kind of waves goodbye, and Danji and Yuru, while working to help the village get ready for the rain, I think, are kind of talking. Danji says, how nice to be able to leave the village. And Yuru asks him, are the lower lands that nice? And Danji tells him, but the people who leave to work rarely return. It must be pretty nice. Really? I wouldn't mind living here my whole life. And Danji tells him, yeah, right, you have a cute younger sister. Why don't you leave with your sister? If you're afraid, I'll come with you. And Yuru just tells him, being with you will sully Asa. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with that little bit. I will say, though, that people who leave to work rarely return. If we hadn't just seen Dara, who, regularly comes and goes from the village, seemingly, I'd be very suspicious about that line. That feels like the kind of line that's introduced to reveal some horrible truth about the outside world or something. I don't know. We'll have to sort of wait and see. Being with you was Sully Asa. And Danji just snaps, come to think of it, I'd never met Asa before. Does she really exist? Is she an imaginary sister? And Yuru snaps back, Asa has an important duty. So apparently, not only has Asa sort of being put in the jail already happened, it seems to have happened a long time ago, her entire life maybe, I don't know. She can only meet with certain people, not peasants like you. Don't say that, big brother! Fight me! Nope. And then they hear this call. There's this noise. Danji looks up. What's that? Excuse me. And Yuru looks up. Isn't it a dragon call? Look. A pretty dragon's fart. I guess this is just a common terminology in this world. A pretty dragon's fart. And then we see this image of a clenched fist. My initial impression was that it was a sort of slapstick kind of whacking sign. But there's no comic head bump there. And we see in the bottom of the panel there's a similar bottom of the page there's a similar echoing panel that I'll get to in a bit. And then Danji notes, but it's not rumble like it usually is. And Yuru tells him, I've heard it many times when I was hunting in the mountains. Isn't it getting loud? It's probably getting near. And Danji asks him, have you ever seen a dragon? And Yuru just tells him, nope. And we see again that echoing panel, instead of a clenched fist, it's sort of opened and something is falling from it. And like a shockwave emanates from the top of the mountain. I got no clue what that's about, but Dara feels it as he's leaving the village. He turns back to look at it, and Yuru, of course, feels it too. Huh? Okay. So, you know, when I was describing the dragon fart, I kind of intentionally did not refer to it as the kind of trail a plane makes, right? Because this felt like a medieval world where they didn't have planes, but that's a plane making the trails, and those are helicopters coming down. Okay, maybe that's what's kind of meant by the people. Like the people go down, and they see modernity, and they don't come. When Danji noted the people who go down to the lower lands don't come back. I don't know. What the fuck? There are helicopters now. Shocking all the villagers who, again, all of these sort of medieval, like, you know, maybe feudal Japan-ish vibes going on. There's just helicopters. Spooking the horses. This guy kind of looks like, Havoc from FMA. Looks up in shock, and then his throat gets slit by some guy in a camo jacket. And there are all these camo jacket guys wielding pistols surrounding the mountain. And one of them points a gun at Dara, and Dara's just shocked. What? And then we hear a thud and a splash of blood come up. Like Dara just got shot, but also that maybe Dara didn't get shot, and we're supposed to think Dara got shot. I don't know. All of a sudden, things are taking a turn. Things are taking a turn real fast. Someone calls, Granny Yamaha, what is this? And Yamaha looks around. This is bad. The ward has been broken. Okay, so she knew about this, which makes sense if she's like a village elder. She would know a bit more about the outside world, but all the adults maybe have too? Because this guy who's come up to her says, how? And Yamaha tells him, they probably come for Yuru. Hide him. Take him away. And a bunch of the men run off. Yes! Where is Yuru? He's down in the fields. Quickly! And we see Yuru and Danji, who have found a murdered farmer. And Danji's just kind of panicking. What is happening? People are getting killed! And Yuru and Danji I think Yuru leads Danji back to the village as Danji panics, please live, mother! And Yuru tells him, stay with me, Danji. And they find a couple of the soldiers, both of whom are kind of ready their pistols at Yuru. We found the boy! Stop him! And Yuru goes ready a bow and arrow and shoots both of them with the arrows. But not before one of them can get a gunshot off that hits a little rock by Danji, who barely doesn't get shot. And Danji notes, something weird flew across. And Yuru notes, and it's pretty destructive. But the soldiers are both still kind of dealing with their arrow wounds, giving Yuru and Danji time enough to kick them both in the face. Alright. So yeah, we're seeing, I don't know, it's a little bit early to try to assign any kind of theme to this chapter. But we do definitively have themes of old versus new, maybe? Like history versus modernity? I don't know. But anyway, we see the helicopters that are flying, still kind of hovering around the village. As Danji and Yuru are watching, Danji had tears in his eyes. That dragon was flying around the 3rd district. So there's an interesting question. Have they always been seeing planes and helicopters? We know they've been seeing the after effects of planes, but have they ever actually seen an airplane before this? Yamaha mentioned something about the ward being broken, and that's what's allowed the soldiers here. I don't know. There's once again so much here that I just do not know what's going on right now. Anyway, I don't think we can. Yuru looks up at the helicopter. I don't think I can beat that. Is that even a dragon? But Donji tells him, I think Mother's working at the central district as usual. Are you also going there for Asa? And Yuru thinks for a second before just runs ahead. Let's use a it's late at night, in case y'all can't tell. Let's use a shortcut. And Donji looks at him confused, and they find this sort of idol figure, I guess. But there's a little entrance at the bottom of it. Come help. And Donji's confused. Huh? What? And Yuru presses, come on and help. And they open up this little hole at the bottom of the idol. Shortcut to main district. And Donji just reacts, what? I didn't know this. Told you. Sayu-sama will protect us. So yeah, these dog deities are Sayu, I suppose. They take a ladder down to sort of underground tunnel area. And Yuru holds on to the ball Dara gave him for Asa. Asa, please be alright. Then we cut back to Yamaha's men. You can see the helicopter with a rope ladder thrown down, and someone just sort of standing there in a coat, staring down all of these men with their axes and shit. This girl just waves at them. Hello? And then she makes a little gobble noise with her hands, confusing the bald man. And then he's just cleaved in two. Okay. Down at a diagonal. Shit's weird. You know, it's been a while since I read FMA. I don't remember FMA being this gory. Arakawa was just being much gorier than I remember, which is not really good or bad. It's just very different than what I was really expecting going into the new Arakawa manga. But yeah, the bald guy just falls over, killed by this gobble thing. And the girl keeps on doing it, and all the men are just cut up. One guy just loses both his hands, he gets off pretty easy. One guy loses his legs at the knee, his hands at the wrist, and part of his face. One eye stays in his head. But they're just beat the fuck up. They're all we see the little girl from earlier just screaming. Her mother loses her head. Mother. And the girl comes up to her. I won't bite children. And we see the guy who lost his hands earlier just still screaming on the ground. And the girl goes over to him with another gobble. And he loses from this area up. From here up. But interestingly enough, the first sign of what exactly she's doing, she also leaves a huge gash in the ground. I don't know. I have absolutely no guesses. But his blood gets on the little girl's face as she just panics. And then the girl gets up on her phone. Hello, it's me, Gab-chan. I've taken over the 2nd and 3rd district. And Gab is her name, I suppose. Or maybe it's a reference to her gobble ability. I don't know. But she dumps some gum in her hand. Come along up, ground forces. And she chews the gum, but she doesn't get a response. Hello, ground forces? And we see, I'm going to guess this is where we get the reveal that Dara isn't actually dead, because we see Dara's bag and some blood, but no Dara body. A hand holding a pistol. And yeah, Dara has, with his machete and his pistol, killed all the ground forces. So Dara is clearly, given that Dara leaves the village, it's clear he has some idea what's going on in the outside world. But also, he's a capable fighter. And Dara just looks around, sheaths his machete. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What to do? The ward's been broken. So we keep talking about the ward being broken. I still don't know what that's really about. And he pulls out his, an old flip phone. Hello, Hana-chan? It's me. It's happened and it's bad. Can you see the smoke from there? Oh, change our meeting point? Okay. I think Asa has come. Okay. Come where? She hasn't really left the jail, has she? I don't know. Gotta conserve my water. This one will be out before the video's done. Okay. So we see at the jail, our black-haired person from the cover, who I thought might be Asa, right? Before we actually saw Asa. And I want to take into account that line, Asa has come. Because what if this is the real Asa? I don't know. Anyway, Eye Patch looks at Asa in the jail. I see. Disgusting. And she raises her fist at our Asa and extends her hand, and the door blows open and Asa's cut up. Yeah, that's a fake. I don't know what's going on there, but that's definitely a fake. And Yuru comes in right there to see Asa's hand on the ground. And Yuru just looks in shock as the eye patch girl looks back at him, and Yuru just screams, Asa! And yep, Eye Patch just raises her hand. Yes, I'm Asa, brother. And she gets this big grin. I've come for you. And I will kill everyone besides you. Alright, okay. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on here right now. There's just, which again is very much the point. Much like Yuru, we're all kind of confused here. Everything is sort of changing in ways we don't quite understand yet. But I don't know. Yuru's just stunned. What are you talking about? And he goes to grab an arrow. How can you be my sister? Get away from her! And he shoots the arrow. I guess the real Asa extends her hand, and there's just this explosion at the jail. We come back to Dara, who's watching a helicopter, thinks they're pretending to be mountain rescuers. It'll be a problem if they get... He shoots a couple more of them. It'll be a problem if they get up along the escape route. And then we see... I guess this is Gab. With... Instead of... She has this mouth with a bunch of eyes around the gums. Just floating there. He's sort of shocked. Oh dear, that's a pretty set of teeth. And Gab looks at him. Oh, you can see it? And the teeth lunge for him. Dara jumps out of the way and starts shooting at it. So I guess there's some sort of power or like a stand or something? I don't know. Anyway, Dara's just shooting at the teeth, and Gab asks him, did you get rid of the ground troops, old man? And none of the shots really work, which makes Dara say, an animal is really hard. And then he throws a grenade at Gab. We see this whole huge explosion. And then we cut back to Yuru and Asa. As Asa sort of apologizes, sorry, I only meant to break the arrow. I'm still not used to this. Okay. I'm just trying to, you know what? I'm going to maybe, for at least a little bit, stop thinking about what's going on and just sort of let it wash over me. Because I don't think I'm supposed to know what's going on right now. I don't know. Anyway, we see Yuru sort of stunned at the explosion Asa caused. And out falls the little ball he was going to give his Asa. That rolls, I think maybe the real Asa, no, it's Yamaha. I saw a body next to, Yuru's feet, or Asa's feet. And I thought maybe it was like, it's supposed to be like the ball rolls by the other Asa to emphasize the tragedy of her death or something. But no, it's rolling by Asa and Yamaha. And then it rolls over to the fake Asa. We then cut to Yamaha, who is awake, is conscious in the looks of things, and from the blood of Asa, this little tendril thing pops up, and it flies towards the real Asa, wraps up her arm, shocking Yuru. And this little shadow man holds Asa's arm back. I guess so she can't attack. Yamaha calls, Dara, take Yuru and run. And Dara, I guess this one is fighting against Gab, or got him away from Gab, jumps up through the hole, grabs Yuru and runs away as the shadow stops Asa from attacking. And Yamaha calls, hide in the lower lands. Don't get found. And Dara calls back, got it. And he runs by Donji and his mom, who are just sort of watching. Danji reacts, Yuru! Yuru! As Yuru gets away. We come back to the idol of Sayu was his name? Right, what was the god's name? I forgot already. Give me a sec, I'll try to find it really quickly. Let's see. Yeah, Sayu. Sayu is the name. But they head back to that shrine from earlier. I'll turn the page. There we go. Back where we were. Sorry about that. Anyway, Dara tells him, we'll get off the mountain. Come. We see a couple of helicopters getting close. As Dara notes, wow. And they start shooting, the guys in the helicopter start shooting at Dara and Yuru. As Dara notes, we're getting delayed. The person with teeth comes, will be trapped. And Yuru stops him. Wait, Dara-san. What's all this? What is happening? Yeah, that's an appropriate reaction, Yuru. What the fuck is going on? And then Yuru just sort of stammers, Asa is dead. Is she? But she moved. We left Granny behind. Who was that woman? She killed everyone, but no one did anything wrong. And Dara just tells him, I don't have time to explain. I'm out of bullets. Use Sayu-sama. And Yuru looks at him confused. Huh? Sayu-sama? What are you? And Dara takes a little charm off of his chest, like a necklace. This. Put it in the hole right between Sayu-sama. I don't know what you mean. It's a present. Pro what? Do they not have the word present in this village? Just do it. You do it. And Yuru runs off to, I guess, the gap between the two statues. What is it? No one explains anything. There's trash in the hole. And Dara gets on to him. You should have swept the ground around Sayu-sama. Dig! And Yuru puts the charm in the hole and calls back, it's in, Dara-san. And Dara slams Yuru's head into the ground. Yuru starts to get a nosebleed and his blood falls on the charm. What are you doing? I'm guessing the blood there is important. But then we cut back to the soldiers who are still in their helicopter sort of surrounding Yuru and Dara as they call, it's the kid! Catch him! But the two statues of Sayu-sama glow. This light that kind of blinds the soldiers, has to cover their faces. And the helicopter starts to crack apart. Whatever Sayu is doing, it's working. As the guys all fall out of the helicopters as they sort of crack, shocking Yuru. What is that? Oh no. It's the same sort of thing with the mouth. It's a thing that it's a sort of stand. It's like a stand. Only some people can see it. It's these like lightning, I guess they're Sayu. They're sort of lightning creatures all over the helicopters. One takes a bite out of the helicopter blades, and the helicopters both come crashing to the ground. Gab reacts, no! Our method of transportation! I'll have to walk down the mountain! And the teeth sort of clench, bite at her, and Gab tells it, sure, calm down, you two. Something's appeared. Somebody's Tsugai? So is Tsugai, because earlier, in the beginning of the chapter, Yamaha called Yuru and Asa the rulers of the Tsugai. But if Tsugai is what these stand things are called, I don't know. Anyway, back at the wreckage. I hope it's a weakling. Oh dear, our master is a kid. And we see these two figures, one a man, one a woman. Seems easy. And the man says, seems easy to control. You on the left. And the woman tells him, be it child or adult, we have to obey our master. You on the right. And then Dara just starts to sort of explain to Yuru, who's just stunned, ghosts, yokai, monsters, demons, aliens, the opposites. Well, people call them a lot of different names. Yuru, these people are your Tsugai. Destiny awaits. Okay, all right, I don't know. There's just a lot here. Let's take a look at it. Let's just go from the beginning. back to those early pages before all hell broke loose. Because, like, whoa, what a wild chapter. What a wild premiere. There's just a lot here. It starts off, there's this real kind of, I will say, I was not expecting the twist, the page 20 twist of this is in the modern day. But, like, and the first few pages do a lot to sort of set up this world. And I think that's one of those things that helps the chapter work, is that we see at least a little bit of time with this world, so that when everything goes all to hell, we at least feel it a little bit. That might have worked better if it had been a little bit longer, but also there's a bit of a, do you want it to be... There's only so much space in a chapter, and if we want to get to where we leave off, with the introduction of the two Tsugai or whatever, we spend the time that we can on that world, on the world before all hell breaks loose. So that Yuru has something that he's lost once he starts doing whatever it is he ends up doing. But then, some kind of military group comes in and just starts killing people. And honestly, I'm going to say, I'm not sure who the good guys are here. Like, I feel like we're definitely supposed to think that Asa and her cronies are the bad guys. But maybe the adults of the village are, like, up to some awful shit. Why do they have the Asa clone, or whatever she's supposed to be? Why do they stick her in a prison cell 24/7? There's something not right there, either. I don't know. I talked before about just how grisly this is. And, to be fair, FMA had its moments. With the Nina dog, with just a lot of the chimeras can be kind of creepy. But I don't think it was really as bloody. Not even, like Nina's death was sort of implied off-screen sort of thing. Not a man's face getting cut in half. In, like, long, not like normal ways, but, like, brah kind of way. I don't know. Like, it is bloody, but they might not be the bad guys, possibly? I'm not sure. I don't know. There's definitely something up here. There's something not quite right with this whole situation. Maybe none of these these organizations are really in the right with whatever conflict this is. But I'm a little skeptical that everything is quite as it appears to be. Given one of the whole things here is that nothing is as it appears to be to Yuru, maybe there's something more here that Yamaha doesn't want us to know? I don't know. I have no idea who's in the right here, who's in the wrong, who's to say. But there's still plenty here. We have that sort of meeting between Yuru and Asa, which I'm certain will become a very important moment later on, if that is his twin sister. And I don't know. Like there's also just, going to page 38, earlier Yuru calls for Asa after he sees her corpse. There's something about the way Asa just says yes to that line. It feels not exactly villainous, if that makes any sense at all. I'm not sure it does. Though that grin she has at the bottom of the page is a little evil looking, and especially that "and I will kill everyone besides you" bit. It's hard to... I just don't know what's going on here. I don't know. Dara's kind of cool, though. Just like, I'm a sucker for the kind of guys who just, like, are in this sort of superpowered universe and don't have any of that. They're just sort of along for the ride. They're still, like, fighting these powerful people, like early Zenkichi in Medaka Box. And for now, it looks like Dara might be that, unless he also has a Tsugai power somewhere. I don't know. I just don't know. But there's all kinds of cool powers on display. Like we have this cool shadow guy that comes out of Asa's blood, or the fake Asa's blood. The teeth. The two, like, Sayu Tsugai things that come out to serve Yuru at the end. Destroying the helicopter was a cool fucking scene there. And then, they're sort of stuck as stuck as Yuru's allies, as Tsugai, which I'm assuming again is kind of vaguely stand-like, is what I've been using to describe them so far. I don't know. I don't know how any of this plays out. But you know what? I may not know where we're going or what's going to happen next or any idea of what the series is going to look like. But I am along for the ride. I don't know. This was wild, and I cannot wait to see how... I can't wait to see what the hell Arakawa has in store for us. It's been too fucking long since we've had a full original Arakawa manga. Even longer since an original Arakawa action series. FMA was a decade ago already, which is wild if you think about it, but okay. But yeah, we're here. We're back. Arakawa is back, and there's just some good shit here. I don't know if it's going to reach the insane highs of FMA at its peak, but I'm along for the ride all the same. I can't wait to see how all of the series shapes up. What the fuck is going to happen? I just can't wait. So I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe. Do whatever makes you happy, And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!